Ladies, gentlemen, dear shareholders, the year 2020, which for reasons with which you are familiar was out of the ordinary, allowed your group to once again demonstrate the remarkable robustness of its business model, relying on the balance of its portfolio between growth and resilience activities. You'll see this through 4 indicators: good sales resilience, significant improvement in operating margin, net profit growth, and lastly, very high level of investment decisions. Regarding solid sales performance, we ended 2020 with sales over 20 billion euros, up in the fourth quarter, pretty much stable on a comparable basis full year in the context of a global health and economic crisis. By comparison, global industrial production declined by 5% over the same percentage. Global gas and services, representing 96% of our sales, displayed good resilience. The activity was sustained by strong sales in healthcare and electronics. On the geographic front, the sales increase in Europe and dynamism of China offset the relative weakness of North America. For the other group's activity, consolidated sales, engineering and construction is down 23% on the year, but recovered strongly in Q4 with an increase in 24%. Lastly, global markets and technology grew on a comparable basis of 6% in 2020, was particularly dynamic in biogas with the starting of new units. In this regard, let me take this opportunity of our being present on the Innovation Campus in Paris to say that we're continuing to innovate. We have set up a pilot biodigester. This pilot research project is designed to improve the efficacy of methanization. Let's turn now to your group's performance, particularly solid. The operating margin of Air Liquide improved by 80 basis points in 2020, excluding the price of energy, reaching 18.5%, a record level in the group's history. Whereas revenue remained stable, operating income recurring was up 4% on comparable basis, nearing 4 billion euros. The 3 main drivers were once again the generation of structural efficiencies for 441 million euros, way above the annual target set at over 400 million euros, active price management and that of the asset portfolio. Added to that were exceptional cost reduction measures that we put in place to confront the economic crisis, benefiting from the good maintenance of operations, but also the capital gains linked to the disposal of Schulke. Net profit group share stood at 2.4 billion euros from the pandemic. That's an increase of 9% on a reported basis, 11% excluding currency. Cash flow from operation reached a record level, 24% of sales, significantly reducing the group's gearing. Net debt to equity stands at 56% at the end of the year, as against 64% a year earlier. We now have a gearing level equivalent to that preceded the acquisition of Airgas. The strength of the group's balance sheet is reinforced. Recurring return on capital employed at 8.6% is stable versus 2019, in spite of the drop in activity links to the health crisis. Turning to our investments, they remain particularly dynamic in spite of a very uncertain context. Like in 2019, our investment decisions topped the 3 billion euro mark, and for its part, the portfolio at opportunities at 12 months continued to strengthen at 3.1 billion euros, increased to 45% by energy transition projects. This dynamic highlights the good position of the group on key markets, healthcare, energy transition, and digital technologies. We can therefore envisage the future confidently, as well as our growth prospects. As regards our non-financial performance, our 3 main indicators grew in 2020 be it safety, gender diversity, or carbon intensity. In 2020, the group has demonstrated the solidity of its business model, the validity of its strategy, sustained by its global geographic footprint, the diversity and balance of its portfolio by delivering once again profitable but also responsible growth. I'd now like to say a few words about our first quarter sales. The gradual recovery continued and group sales grew almost 4% on a comparable basis. All our businesses are back on a growth trend. Sales of medical oxygen are still above normal and offsetting the impact of bad weather in the United States. Furthermore, performance remains very solid. Against a backdrop of limited local lockdown measures in H1 and recovery in the second half, your group is confident in its ability to once again increase its operating margin and deliver an increase in recurring net income at constant exchange rates in 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention.
Merci, Fabienne.
Thank you very much, Fabienne. And now I would like to give you the strategic overview for the group. In other words, how the group will continue to confront the crisis while preparing the future.